This is Getting On with Life, Biblical Wisdom for Successful Christian Living. And this lesson is Small Things. One of the signs of maturity and a challenge in growing up is taking responsibility. A child does not naturally clean up their mess before they run on to the next thing to attract their attention. Parents know that children can leave a trail of mess and unfinished things without the slightest clue it is their responsibility to put things away, clean their mess, and so on. Parents train children to do that, and then at school, teachers have to build on that. At the workplace, the person may again have to be directed to keep their workspace clean and tidy and complete processes. When people are challenged about lifting their game to take more responsibility for the messes they make, they can resent it. A well-trained person learns to be responsible, finish tasks, and to leave things as they found them. Because of the natural human tendency to want things easy and avoid irksome responsibilities, it is not uncommon for people to do a hasty, insufficient job of tidying up. Sweeping dust under the carpet, hiding the mess, having something more important to do, and blaming others are things people do. As God deals with our selfishness, we are to become better at taking responsibility and serving others rather than serving ourselves. Children fear missing fun and happiness and will jump up and chase the new and exciting thing that seems to be happening, or the new idea they have in their head. They are serving self. Part of training a child toward maturity is teaching them to think of others and to see themselves within a bigger world than their own impulses. Loving and serving others is a key way to move people from their selfishness. Selfishness is an empty purpose for two significant reasons. One is that we are commanded to love God and love others, so being selfish is completely contrary to what God wants for us. At the same time, selfishness does not give us what it promises. We might assume that getting what we want and doing what we want and serving ourselves is the sure course to happiness, but it is not true. Many who have what they want and do what they want are empty and unfulfilled. I once heard God's disciplines described as surgery. If someone jumps off the operating table, they will avoid what is unpleasant, but take their disease or injury with them. Sadly, many Christians object to God's correction and God's surgery in their life and run away when God challenges them. There are also multitudes of people who are unable to do what they want, or have what they want, or to serve self, who are happy and fulfilled. That might be counterintuitive, but it's how it is. Serving self does not give us what we expect it should. So, learning to love and serve God and others is a wonderful way to gain joy and satisfaction. That's why we teach our children to do the same. We want them to be happy, not disenchanted and empty. So that brings me to small things. The best way to become good at serving and blessing others is to pay attention to the little details. Those small things are easiest to neglect and leave undone. When we can be good at those details, we will have trained our heart well. My wife struggled to train me to pay attention to smaller details when I was doing tasks around the house. If I was washing dishes, I would think the job was done the moment the last item was placed on the drainer. My wife, however, thought all the splashed water needed to be wiped up, and the sink wiped too. She also thought any sponges or cloths had to be squeezed out and placed in their appropriate place. My reaction to such demands revealed the childish selfishness of my heart. I had done the lion's share of the task, actually washing all the dishes, so it seemed petty to care about splashes of water or grime left in the sink. At the same time, I was already thinking of what I wanted to do once the chore was over, so I had no joy in sticking with the chore any longer than I needed to. I can't say I rejoiced when my wife insisted I attend to the small things of the task. That example comes to mind because a short while ago I had to hand wash some dishes. I not only washed all the dishes and stacked them away, I cleaned out the sink, wiped up any splashed water, wiped the kitchen benches, squeezed out the cloths and put them in their rightful places. As I surveyed the workspace, I felt a nice sense of satisfaction that I had done the job well, but also left the place completely ready for whatever was going to come next. That is something I wasn't able to do in my early adult life. And it represents many other areas where I have matured, learned and grown in my ability to serve and bless others. I realize I am much more ready to serve others than I used to be. Serving myself is not the urgent desire it once was in my life. My heart and life have been disciplined, slowly, over many decades. Looking back, I realize how much happier I would have been, and much more of a blessing I could have been to others, if I had been trained to take full responsibility for all the small things making up the elements of my life. So take a look around your world and consider the small things you won't get around to. Think about what that means in terms of you being responsible for things, and think about how well you serve others, or whether you are just serving yourself. Let me assure you that serving yourself will not bring the happiness you expect. Humbling yourself before God and loving and serving Him and others will bring you far greater fulfillment than chasing your ideas of happiness. As you lift your game and sharpen your response to God, taking responsibility for your life, I urge you to become a top performer when it comes to small things. God bless you.